We are well into the school year with homework and projects taking over your child's life. And as parents, you'll probably try anything to get your kids to do well in school.
Yeah, one way many parents motivate their kids is by paying them for every A or offering some kind of reward as an incentive to get good grades.
And while that may seem to work in the short run, what are you actually teaching your kids in the long run? Here to talk about that is mother of two, AMY McCREADY. She's founder of Positive Parenting Solutions, and she's the author of a really terrific book called The Me Epidemic.
Yeah. Also with us is psychologist and mother of two and a good friend of ours, Dr. Dale Atkins.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
We're so glad the two of you are here because you are really wise women.
Thank you.
We need a lot of wisdom right now in this world, don't we?
And Amy, you have taken a stand on this. You wrote something for Today Parenting about this. So you say, no, do not pay for grades.
Yes, and on the surface it may seem to make sense, but really 40 years of research proves that using external rewards to motivate a behavior, in this case paying for grades, actually diminishes internal motivation. So while we dangle that carrot out there, what happens is the kid performs for the payout rather than for the love of learning and the interest in a subject. The other issue is that it's not sustainable. So what happens when $5 for an A is no longer motivating? Do you have to up the ante to 10 or 15? And if the kid doesn't like math, is it going to cost $20 to keep him motivating?
Yeah, it's a slippery
Dale,
slope.
do kids get motivated by money? Do you actually work harder thinking I'm going to get $5 for an A?
For some children, yes, and every child is different, and the motivation has to be appropriate for the child. But I agree totally with Amy in that what we really want to do is help kids feel good about themselves as learners. And if we teach them how to learn, and if we focus on the process rather than the grade, and we really give them encouragement for paying attention, for doing things on their own, and teaching them how to do that, they will get this feeling of joy and love of learning and accomplishment. And that is what contributes to people, particularly children, feeling good about themselves, feeling positive about that.
It's so interesting because our Today producers were talking about this, and this actually blew up in a meeting because a lot of the producers did get paid for grades, and they wound up working here at 30 Rock, and they said, look, it worked for us.
Yeah, but they have to work for us. That's
terrible. You're
They
right.
wanted the first 3 hours. They got us. So.
But what does that mean? So it does work for some.
See, they all know it's true. Yeah.
So to your point, these were probably people who were pretty motivated to begin with, right?
Anyway.
And so getting paid for grades, it's like a bonus. Sure, they liked it, but did it really change their behavior? Think of the less than motivated kid. If cash is your primary vehicle to keep that kid motivated, it's never sustainable. It's kind of like putting Band-Aids on symptoms. If we don't get to the real issue, like why isn't that kid motivated? Is he discouraged? Does he have a learning difference? Is it a power struggle? Unless we dig into that, no amount of payment is ever going to keep that kid motivated long term.
And I think what happens is that often the parents are not willing to look any closer and say, well, what really might be going on? Maybe a kid's embarrassed in school, or maybe there's bullying. And to the point that Amy made, if a child does have a learning difference, you can dangle as much money as you want. They're still not going to be able to do it unless they learn the way they're supposed to learn. And then they are motivated because they've had success. And there are many ways to incite kids and give really wonderful incentives that are meaningful for them. I don't know a parent who doesn't say, I wish I had more time with my kid. So why don't you make that part of the incentive, you know? Let's really work on this together. You've done so well. Praise them and say, let's spend some time together.
Great advice,
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
I love when we end on an up note.
It's so rare.
Excellent.
For more strategies to motivate your child at school, go to klgandhoda.com.